Hello, and thank you for joining us today for IFFGD's 2021 Virtual Advocacy event. Today, we are focusing on advocacy, ensuring that advocates have all the tools and answers that they need to successfully contact Congress. With us today is IFFGD's Washington representative, Philip Goglas II. He is here to discuss more about how to follow up with Congress. Thank you for being here with us today, Philip.
Thank you, Cecile. It's great to be here with you, and thank you all for advocating on behalf of our communities. Your participation is critically important, and it really does make a difference with members of Congress. And if you need more information about how to contact your member of Congress or some more information, please feel free to review some of the previous videos.
That's right. For those of you at home, we have had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Goglas several times today. And so you'll have quite a few videos that gives you step-by-step instructions on how to contact your congressional members. This video, however, talks about afterwards, the next step. So Philip, let's say that someone has already done that. Now what do they do? What's the next steps that should happen after they follow the steps from those previous interviews?
Right. So one of the first things we're going to ask you to do is let us know who you spoke with. Let IFFGD know who you contacted. If you were able to speak with somebody, who did you speak with? If you emailed somebody, who did you email? And we're going to ask you to do that by sending us a follow-up note at advocacy@iffgd.org or giving us a call at 414-946-1799.
Fantastic. So following up with IFFGD is really, really important. But let me get a little more granular with you here, Philip. So when they do follow up with us, what information exactly should they share with IFFGD to help us continue that advocacy effort?
So what's going to be important for us is the who, what, where, when, why, how. So letting us know, who did you contact? How did it go? Were you able to connect with your a staffer for one of your or both of your senators? Did they have positive things to say? Did they take the time to meet with you? What questions did they have? Do we need to send any follow-up information? Did they ask some specific things that you didn't know the answer to, which is perfectly okay, that we should follow up with? Were they receptive? Did they make note of anything that you think is of importance? All that is important for us to know, so that way we're able to follow up with them on key aspects of your conversation. We also would like to know, what email did you use? What phone number did you contact? That way we can make sure that there is that follow-up with you after your conversation with them.
Awesome. So that's a lot of information. Why is it important that you share all of this information with IFFGD?
So it's critically important because it helps us continue our efforts. We don't ask our advocates to be experts on policy or process. We ask you to be the expert in your story. My role here in Washington is to be that expert in policy and process, to follow up with offices, to let them know how they can be helpful and what they can do, and to have those in-depth policy conversations. So by you sharing all of this, it gives me the ability to follow up with an office and say, Cecile, thanks for taking the time to speak with members of our community. I know you had some questions about some of our specific priorities, and now that gives me the opportunity to share more in-depth answers with them and to work with them to get their office to support our priorities. It also allows us to work on developing that relationship as well and following up with your initial contact with them and helping you to solidify your relationship with your two senators and with your House member.
Fantastic. And talking about building that relationship, Philip, should advocates follow up with the staff member again, even though IFFGD is going to do it?
Yes. So what's critically important, as we discussed in one of the previous videos, there are 435 members of the House and 100 members of the Senate. I could go to every single House office and every single Senate office. I could visit 535 offices. One thing that they will always ask me is, do I have a constituent who would benefit from these policies that you came to me to speak about? So that's where you come in. And that's why it's critically important for you to develop that relationship, so that way you can follow up with them throughout the year there are going to be a number of different issues that come up during a congressional term, and we are going to ask you to, again, follow up with your members. We also talked about the different important committees that are in the House and the Senate, and if your member is on one of those committees, we absolutely want to be able to check in with them throughout the year when it comes to anything from patient access issues to funding recommendations that happen throughout the year, or just to keep them updated on some of the activities that IFFGD is doing as an organization or as a community.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Philip, for helping us understand sort of those next steps. A lot of times during these advocacy events, it's an event and everyone gets excited. We sometimes forget that there's follow-up, and then there's a relationship to build. I know one of our advocates named Debbie last year built a great relationship with her congressional representative to the point that he sort of looked to her when she would come in to ask questions about some of the bills and some of the issues that were facing the GI illness community. And she was able to use that relationship to help get several signatures on bills for that benefits all of us. So that is really important, and it's really crucial that we do that. And thank you for taking time this afternoon to be able to sort of discuss that with us. As all of you know, there will be, hopefully, there will be a live question and answer session at the end of our advocacy programming today. Mr. Goglas has agreed to come online and to be able to answer questions that you have. So make sure that you're sending those in on the chat feature, and so that we can store those away for the end of the program. Please continue to watch our program on Advocacy Today. We're trying to explain to you all things advocacy. And if you're just joining us and you missed some of those videos that we talked about that have already happened earlier in the programming, have no fear, they're going to be on our website. So you can go to IFFGD.org, and there will be an advocacy event program page. And on that page, you'll find all of the videos that we've already been through, including this one, and the ones that we'll be doing later on this evening as well. So please stay tuned for the rest of the videos, the live question and answer. And if you missed anything, you can always go back and watch it again. Thank you for joining us today for our program in What's the Next Step in Advocacy following your contact with your congressional office. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.